If you've been playing tennis for a while, you've probably asked yourself this question: how do I win tight matches? And what do I do when the match is very close? My name is Takura. I've taught in over 8 countries and I've got over 30 years experience teaching tennis. In this video, I'm going to clearly define what playing within yourself is and clearly define what playing to win and playing to improve is, and also illustrate the multiple variations of a stroke. And understanding all of this will help you with the strategy. I watched this match a few hours ago, and this is Potapova from Russia, and she's playing against Pegula, and she totally dominated Pegula in the first set. Pegula is a higher ranked player. Pegula is number 3 in the world. She's also the highest ranked American right now.
50.
And Potapova is 31, I think. 31 in the world, and she's 29 years old. She's 21 years old, and Pegula is 29. So just giving you that idea, just giving you those stats, that should give you an idea of experience. And whenever it's a tight match, you gotta go with experience. If you're the experienced player, you gotta stay a lot calmer, and you know that you should know your game a lot better than the other person on the other side. All right, and based on the score and based on this match so far, I only started it right where it's relevant. This is a game, this was a turning point in the game. And Pegula was struggling. And not because she was playing poorly, but because Potapova was playing really well. And if you remember what I said in one of the other videos, anybody that plays really, really well, it's very difficult for them to sustain that throughout the entire match. All right, that's another loose error. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to try to define before we get too deep into this is just understanding that every stroke that you hit in this case, nice ace. In this case, I'm going to pick the forehand. There's so many variations in a forehand. And understanding this is going to kind of give you an idea how many variations you have when you hit a forehand. So for example,
40, 30.
Wow, that's 2 aces in a row. Now, in singles, I'm not too concerned about aces. It just means how redlining somebody is, how much risk somebody's taking. I do not like aces in doubles. It's not a great strategy. Now, to kind of give you an idea of what I was talking about, the options that you have as a returner. So if you get a forehand, for example, now you could go down the line, you could go cross court, you could go right in the middle of the court. So you got like 3 options direction-wise. And then you also got basically 3 speeds. You could go 3 speed. You could go slow, medium, or fast. And then you got different spins. You could hit the ball with topspin, you could hit the ball with underspin, or you could hit the ball flat. And then you go with depth as well. Let me just go back there for a second. And you go with depth as well. And you can hit the ball really deep, or you can hit it in the middle of the court, or you can hit it in the middle of the service box. And then you got trajectory. So you could go really high trajectory, you could go lower trajectory, you could go fast trajectory. So all these variations, there are over 100 variations. The experienced players, they know their game really, really well. They know what falls apart under pressure and what doesn't. And you have to do this in practice before you go to a match. And then figure out what is your highest percentage shot. What is the one shot you will not miss. So a quick exercise, after you get all these, obviously you're not gonna use all 100 options, but getting a really good understanding of that, when you play in a match, you know what's gonna work and you know what's not going to work. And after playing 2 sets, you've got a very good idea. This is where the experienced player is gonna have an edge. Oh, that's a beautiful return. Yeah, she thought it was out, but nope, it was in. Yep, she's looking at the umpire. He cannot help you. So now, here's an exercise that I would do because I just said there are over 100 options. And again, I named all of them just to prove a point. I mean, there could be a lot more than that because there's more than one direction you can hit the ball. But for now, I just said cross court, down the line, or center of the court. And also speeds, I only say 3, fast, slow, and medium pace. But obviously, there could be more. But just for simplicity, when you're practicing, hit 20 returns in the same spot, and then say cross court, and then hit forehand down the line, and then hit forehands down the middle. And then out of those 3, figure out which one was a high percentage. And then do the same thing, hit it slower, medium pace, fast. And then do the same, hit topspin, flat, underspin. And then also change the trajectory and change the depth. And after you've done this exercise, which will take a bit of time, but if you're an experienced player, you will have all of this kind of covered, and you'll understand what works and what doesn't work. When you get in a match like this, you are only playing your high percentage shot. You are not trying anything new. You're only hitting the shots that you know you're going to make 9 out of 10 times. And if you look at this, Pegula, who's on the far end, she is very good at this. She is not hitting anything that is low percentage. Right down the middle of the court. That's a mistake. She's just barely out, but that was a mistake. And then you see the other player, Potapova. She's having, again, I think it's a little bit of inexperience and the fact that she's only 21. She is trying to hit the crap out of the ball every single time. She's trying to hit the snot off the ball. And that's way too close to the lines. I would not be going anywhere that close to the lines in a match where your opponent is not hitting winners. You're already up. You do not need to be doing anything that aggressive. Again, you can tell because she already hit 2 aces, you can tell she keeps trying to go for a big serve. Yep, she hit a win on that. But that's been a whole style of game. Now, which brings me to another point. Try to understand the difference between playing to win and playing to improve. Right now, it is very clear that Potapova, I don't know if she's even aware of it, but because she's 21 and she's kind of new to the game, yep, that's a 7th double fault. She's already hit 2 aces, so she's on her way to canceling all those aces. Just in this game, she's hit 2 aces. But it looks like she's still trying to figure out her game, and she's playing to improve. She doesn't look like she's playing to try to win this match. Whereas on the other side, the more experienced players like Jessica, she's playing, yeah, another double fault. Oh my gosh, that's the 8th double fault. You cannot have that many double faults. This is a very, very pivotal game. This game, this is why I started recording on this game. This game is a big game, and she just lost that game with a double fault. She already hit 2 aces. If she'd won this game, which she's been winning most of her serves, the score would have been 4-2. Now that changes the mental approach that your opponent is going to have, how aggressive and everything else, if she just lost that opportunity. Now Jessica is playing a little bit looser. So that was a little bit faster than Jessica was playing. I hope she slows it back down again because her opponent is not doing anything right now. That's okay. See, when you pick up a strategy, you have to be willing to see it through the entire match. Now, this style of play I'm talking about, playing high percentage tennis, your opponent is going to hit a lot of winners on you. And you have to be okay with that. Like, for example, the past game where it was 3-2, she hit 2 aces. She also hit 2 double faults. All right, let's see what she does. Oh, she's stepping in on the second serve. She's definitely going to be aggressive on this one. But she missed it.
40-50.
I would have just stayed back on that. Again, your opponent is not trying to hit winners. Just be a little bit more patient. Why are you going so close? Remember the trajectories that we're talking about. So the closest to the net is super aggressive. You don't need to be getting that close to the net because that's being very aggressive. You don't need to be going close to the lines. You don't need to be hitting the ball as hard as you can. You don't need to be hitting the ball flat. You need to be hitting with topspin, going cross-court most of the time, higher trajectory over the net, and not even getting that close on the serves to the lines. That is very mature. See that volley? Right in the middle of the court. If she gets 20 volleys like that, 20 shots like that, she will make all 20 of those volleys. You look at Potapova, the type of shots she's hitting, she'll be lucky to make 3 out of 5, most of them. Okay, I like that point. Oh, she just stepped right in. Now, that shot, that backhand Jessica just hit, easily can make 19 out of 20 of that shot. That's high percentage.
Then Potapova.
It's okay, that's going to happen sometimes. At least Potapova is very consistent with her strategy. I don't mind this strategy in practice matches, but there is a point when you cannot be practicing in the middle of a tournament. You cannot be playing to improve in the middle of a tournament. At some point, you have to start practicing to win. So, for example, when I have my lessons, I split my lessons into 4. And the first part, usually, depending on the level, the group, is basket fitting. So if we're working on something, forehand, backhand, drop, whatever we're working on. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. All right, so whatever we're working on, we start off with a lot of basket fitting, maybe for 10, 15 minutes. And this is the point where I tell my players, try the different grip, try the variation in the heights, try the different speeds, try the different directions. Let's hit 100 balls, 20 each on whatever direction you want. And after 10, 15 minutes, you should have an idea what's working, what's not working. So that's a basket fitting part. And that's where you practice to improve. You go to the next part, which is rallies. Rallies, you're hitting back and forth. So any shots that you were making, say less than 5 out of 10, I would not even try it in a rally. At this point, I'm only using shots that were working 6 or 7 out of 10. And then we'll get into, and we'll do that for a few minutes, and then we'll get into the play points. Now, playing points is different from playing a match. Playing points is when you try stuff strategically, like hitting a high ball, getting a short ball, and stepping in and hitting corners, or serving and volleying, or hitting a very deep ball and then hit a drop shot. Or this is where you try stuff out. You don't know what's going to work, so you try things out when you're playing points. The second Jessica got lucky. Jessica got lucky. The second I say play a match, you start practicing to perform. You're no longer practicing to improve because you've done that already in the other 3 stages. Oh my gosh, what a point. What a point. Now, the second you start playing matches, you're now practicing. So the first thing you do is eliminate any plays that you are not making prior, like 5 out of 10. So if your slice was not working that day, don't use it in a match. You do not go in with the slice and keep using it hoping that it improves. I would absolutely cut the slice out if the slice was not working. If the back end down the line has not been working at the beginning between the basket feeding, the rally, and the points, I would not use a down the line in that match because it's a low percentage shots. I'm not looking for any shots that need to improve as the match goes. So I would completely put that in on a shelf, and I would not use that shot. So I'm only using a great point. Okay, now it's 5-5. This is a really big pressure game. Now, if you're playing league matches, you're probably playing people that you've never played before, never seen before. So you have to super generalize. Now, if you're playing against, for example, if you're playing against somebody who hits the ball really hard, those people tend to make a lot of errors. So your thing is just hang back and just keep the ball in play, and they usually will self-destruct. And then the opposite, if you're playing against a retriever. So Jessica is slightly on the line of retriever. She's not trying to hit winners, which is why I kind of like Potapova's strategy. It's just a little too aggressive, but I like that strategy. If your opponent is not trying to hit winners, you have to be a little aggressive. But in this case, she's just a little aggressive. And this is why I like making these videos, because you kind of get to see the differences, and it's one of those things that's very hard to explain if you're not actually watching it. Just barely out. That's a perfect example of Jessica playing within herself. Not once did she go for a low percentage shot in that. She looks like she could have easily made 20 out of 20 of any of those shots that she hits in that last point. That's a very good example of playing within yourself. Oh, another double fault, 9th double fault.
15-13.
You cannot do that on big points, especially if your opponent is not hitting winners, outright winners from your serves. Wow. Now, you see how Jessica is being aggressive? She's not necessarily with a swing. She's just stepping in a little bit and taking a little bit of time out. That's experience. That is experience. That's the difference between a 21-year-old and a 29-year-old. And also the difference between number 3 player in the world and somebody who's 30 in the world. Just those very subtle differences. Don't double fault. Jessica did exactly what I was saying. She played within herself. She knew exactly what kind of shots to hit. And Potapova did not completely blow this match. She did what she was supposed to do. If you look at the difference of this match, I don't know exactly the numbers, but the difference was 1 point. There was 1 point difference in this. Jessica Pegula won 1 point more than her opponent.